Salute and bonjour. Welcome to episode 43 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode is on staffs and pole arms, and I'm just going to say other weapons. You'll see why as I progress through this episode. Right, okay though, before I get onto that, a few people have left comments, and first of all, I want to mention Tosh has released a new video. So forgive me Tosh, I'm going to watch it. I will watch it once I finish recording this one. And my apologies go out to Kroll, who has made more videos, and I should have mentioned you sooner. But what I would like you all to do, because as there's more and more people, okay, that make worm videos, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the more content we can create about this great game is just brilliant. But if I could please ask you all, if you make a video on Wurm, whether it's for the first time or whether you're someone that's been watching for a while and have made a couple, whenever you make a new video, can you please link to it in your comment? One, it allows other people reading your comment to go straight there. Two, it lets me know that I need to mention that you've made a new video, so it stops me feeling a bit awful, as in regards to Kroll, where I should have mentioned sooner that he'd done a new video, but I didn't realise, and my apologies to you, Kroll. We also have a new comer to the Worm video collections, and his name's Symbiont, and he's made a fantastic video, which if you look in the description under this video, you'll see I've put a, not for this video actually, sorry, for the last video that I did, which was on moles, you'll see in the description I've put a link to Symbiont's video, but that doesn't really matter because I've subscribed. If you make a video on Wurm and you're not swearing your head off, I am going to subscribe to you. I owe an apology to a person in the past that I subscribed to who was making videos, but I got a complaint about that there was lots of swearing in their videos, so I had to unsubscribe. I don't like doing that, but what's foremost and most important to me about this series on Wurm, and I will re-emphasise this, what is most important to me is allowing parents to play with their children. And it could be that the parent is off doing something in the kitchen and the child is watching this series. I do not under any circumstances want to advertise going to watch someone's video if there's lots of swearing. Fine, you can link to it in the comments, but I just won't mention it if there's swearing. I'm not a prude. This is all about the children, okay? And with my beautiful little angels, I never swore in front of them. I know their friends at school did, but that's their friends at school, and that's not me. That's not this series, and it's not my and that's not this channel. So there we go. If you could please just try to cut down. I mean, I know there's the odd swear word. That's fine. Bugger and whatever else you can think of. Although I don't want to start saying that too much. But yeah, that's fine, but please keep your swearing to a minimum if you want me to advertise it, you know, if you want me to mention it. So there we go. Well done to Symbiont, well done to Tosh, well done to Kroll, well done to Alleycats, well done to Blocky, well done to all of you that have created videos. And for those of you that haven't yet, don't worry, I will show you how to do them in the future. But when you make yours, I'm going to give you a whole list of things that will benefit you. I mean a huge list. Some of them will be mistakes that I've incurred and made. Some of them will be to steer you clear of other mistakes that you can make. Some of them will be to stop you getting sued or claimed. Anyway, I'm not going to go there, it's too soon. But my point is, fear not, those of you that have not made any videos yet because you're not sure how to. I will get around to that once this series is finished, and I promise you that it will be a good mini series for you, and it will go at your pace just like this. Right, okay, enough waffling. I've gone so far waffling. I really need to actually get on the subject matter. Now, this episode is a complete can of worms. What do I mean by that? Well, let's just show you as I go along. Okay, we're going to start by making a staff. That is the first weapon for this episode we shall make. To make a staff, you will need a log. I'm going to, after making each weapon, I'm going to go switch to Wurmpedia. You will see why. Okay, so for the staff, let's bring up the crafting window. Let's bring up the recipe window, staff. So notice this, I'm not going to mention it yet, I'm mentioning that at the end. Okay, so here's our staff though. We're going to add that to the crafting window. There we go. And we will create the staff. The more observant of you will notice that I've got another one up there. Well, I'll explain why. Right, here we are. We now have a staff. Let's just start to put some of this stuff away, otherwise it's going to get a bit messy. So let's put the wood scrap in there. And someone did mention that you can use wood scraps for creating kindling to do your wood cutting. Me personally, I always use my wood scraps for fuel, simply because it saves me going and digging a load of tar. But you know, you do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. That's what it's all about. So let's put the log back, because I don't think we need that anymore. And we'll put the staff up here for now. Okay, I'm going to switch to Wurmpedia now and read to you what it says about staffs. Oh my goodness, there's so many windows I've got for this episode. Right, okay, so here's the description from the wonderful Wurmpedia. A long, well-polished staff that could be useful as a rudimentary weapon or aiding the wanderer. I'll get to why it's saying that in a moment. It is made from, and it's got any wood type. Okay, the weapon stats for the staff are as follows. Attack speed is 4 seconds. 3 seconds if you're in aggressive mode with combat. Damage type is mauling. Parry rate, well, on Wurmpedia it says rate is uncertain, but capable of parrying. So those of you out there that like doing a bit of research in game, perhaps I will in the future, but for now, if you wish to, then perhaps you could even edit Wurmpedia, or get their permission to put in the correct parry rate if you find out what it is. Okay, continuing on, wielding. The staff is a two-handed weapon, so you need both hands for it, meaning that you won't be able to use the shield. So there we go, there's that on the staff. Now reading under notes for the staff. Used to create halberds and long spears. Yep, we're going to get to both of them. The staff can be used as a weapon and is wielded in two hands, so you cannot wield a shield. Yep, I've said that already. A wooden staff cannot be repaired if damaged, so there's an important thing to bear in mind. You cannot repair them. Notice there's no little icon at the end. Okay, so you can't repair them. The material of the staff does not affect its damage or speed. So there we go. Doesn't matter what wood you use. Now, here's the thing, okay, with staffs. Not only can you use them to make two other weapons, but do you remember me reading or aiding the adventurer? Well, here's why. There are 5 different variants of a staff that you can make using gems. Okay, forget the steel. Using gems, there are 5 different variants. There are diamond, emerald, opal, ruby and sapphire staffs. Now, I am going to do an episode on just them. What are they for? They are to assist the priest with casting spells. Oh yeah, a lot of fun to be had there, but that is definitely another episode, and a very good one, but that is one that's in the future. Very in the future. So there we go, there is so many uses for our little staff. I wouldn't imagine you want to use it as a weapon, but there you go, lots of uses. Okay, let's now switch back to my notes. Okay, next then, we're going to make a halberd. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Okay, so we need the staff, and let's search for it in the recipe window. Okay, so for the halberd, we're going to need a huge halberd head. So we're going to need a lump of iron and a large anvil. That is why my forge is going. So let's grab a lump of iron. Let's now add the huge halberd head. Okay, let's now add the anvil. Let's now find that huge halberd head. Here we are. Notice it's 50. There's my crops ready. I'll go up there in a minute. 50%. Let's click create. Let's try again. Let's try again. I'm glad that bird chirped because there's something I want to mention to you with regards to the crops. I really hope I don't forget. Right, okay, so we have a staff, we have a huge halberd. Let's have a look. Is that all we need? Yep, that's all we need. So let's add that to the crafting window. Let's whack that to 4 and let's create this weapon. Look at that. This is seriously getting difficult time. So let's try. 24%. That is, this is going to take a little bit, I believe. But if we check out the skills window, it's getting our weaponsmithing up, I believe. Yep, because we're using iron, so it's all good. Maybe this is an excellent way to train the weapon skill. Well, no, there we go, it's done. Right, so there we are, an iron halberd. Now we're going to switch back to Wurmpedia and let's see what it says. Okay, description. A long polearm with an head looking a long polearm with a head looking both like an axe and a spear at the same time. Excellent against charging attackers. So what that should tell you is if you're on a player versus player server, let them come charging on their horses because you're prepared for them. Here's the weapon stats. Attack speed 5 seconds. 4 seconds if you're in aggressive mode. Up there. Damage type is cutting. Parry rate. Rate uncertain but capable of parrying. So there we go. There's another one that we're not sure of. Wielding. Two-hander, so you can't use a shield. Now the last two things on the notes. Staff quality determines success chances. Looks similar to an iron spear with an axe blade attached to it. Well, looks similar to an axe, I'd have said, but there we go. There is our halberd. So we'll put it up there along with all our other tools. And I've decided, because we're getting so many weapons, I think when I've finished this is the last weapon episode, I hope. I don't know how long it's going to take. Hopefully, if it's not much past 30 minutes, then the next episode I think I'll do on making something to store these in. Okay, for furniture. So we'll get there. Right, okay, so let's carry on. Next we are going to make a long spear. Okay, so for the long spear we're going to need another staff. Let's bring up the recipe window and have a look. Here's the long spear. Spear tip. Right, okay, so that's what we're going to need. Spear tip. So if I just double click and then expand the spear tip. Right, small anvil and iron lump. So we have our iron lump. Let's get the small anvil. We'll add the spear tip. And now we'll find the spear tip, which should be under weapon blades. So spear tip, quite easy to make. And we will create. There we go, getting all of our skills up, as you can see. Nice, nice, nice. Right, there's our spear tip. So what we'll now need to do is, if I put back in there long, there we go, there's our long spear. What do we need? Spear tip and staff. Well, we have them now. So let's put that back and let's add our long spear. There we go, there's our long spear. Let's now... Oh, that is quite difficult. Okay, let's try and create. Okay, there is our long spear. What we're going to do now... No, that's interesting. It's got an iron spear tip, yet there's wood at the end there to improve it. How very peculiar. Right, let's switch to Wurmpedia and see if that can help us here. Right, okay, here's what the wonderful Wurmpedia says. A long, well-polished shaft with a heavy, sharp blade attached at one end. The long spear is wielded in two hands, so you cannot wield a shield with it. Here's the weapon stats. Attack speed is 5 seconds, 4 seconds if in aggressive mode. Attack range, 1 tile. Well, that's the first time I've seen attack range being used with any of these melee weapons. So there we are. Damage type is piercing. Parry rate uncertain but capable of parrying. Wielding, well, we've already said two-hander. Under notes, it's got wood type of staff determines wood type of long spear. So, there we go. So, I have no idea what the best wood is for a long spear, to be honest with you. Is it oak? Is it cedar? I have no idea. Maybe you'd like to comment if you have experience with spears, but I have no idea. Okay, continuing on. The spear tip quality determines success chances. Failing attaching will lower staff quality and damage spear tip. You wield a long spear in your two hands. Heating the spear in a forge will destroy the spear, so don't go doing that. Quality of the weapon will greatly affect overall damage. Can't be mailed. And that's talking about if you're in Wurm Online or on a public server and you want to try and mail items to each other through the post boxes. Oh yeah, you can do that. But you can't mail spears. That's what it's just told us. So there we are. Another interesting weapon. I will be trying these out when we get to combat. A lot of weapons though, so I will see. Right, let's continue on though. Okay, so next we're going to talk about clubs. There are two types of clubs. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. There is the Belaying Pin. Now, the Belaying Pin, it gives club skill. Now, if I read the Wurmpedia on this, now I said earlier at the beginning, didn't I, can of worms. Well, you could see with the staff, that went off in all different directions. Let's now take a look at the Belaying Pin. Okay, Wurmpedia. Now, the Wurmpedia description: a wooden shaft with a rounded part used both to tie ropes to as well as a weapon for drunk sailors. And then usage: small sailing boat, corbiter, cog, knar and caravel. What am I talking about? Am I talking about weapons here or boats? Just to confuse you. Under the notes section, the rowboat doesn't require any pins, while larger ships require between 4 and 10. There we go, we see we're talking about boats again. Uses: main club skill when used as a weapon. It is incredibly fast when wielded, but does little to no damage on armoured targets. Quality level has a high impact on it. Now here's the thing that you should have got from me reading all of this, okay? Number one, the Belaying Pin, I believe, is used by the wife who has a husband that is lazy. That's fact one. Fact two, which is the one that I hope that you realised, the Belaying Pin is actually very, very useful for if you wish to get your club skill up. So let's bring up the clubs and show you. Now, we're going to get to this next, but when I say about this club, you'll see that by using the Belaying Pin to get this skill up high, because it hits so fast, it will skill you up quicker. So therefore, there is the way to get this skill up quickly. And you may not want to use the Belaying Pin as your main weapon. Well, you won't, because it does so little damage. But what if you want to use the huge club, which we're going to get to next? Isn't that a fantastic way to get that skill up? So, okay, having said that, let's now switch to the huge club. Right, now here's the description on the wonderful Wurmpedia for the huge club. Huge club skill is gained by fighting with a huge shod club, a two-handed weapon collected from killing a troll. The parent skill is clubs. The huge club is wielded in two hands, so you cannot wield with a shield in it. Now, with the huge club, you cannot make it, okay? So, therefore, you can only get it from trolls. But what I will do is I will show you, what we'll quickly do is we will make a Belaying Pin to make up for the fact that we can't make the huge shod club. Kill any troll like it said and you can get a huge club because trolls drop them. I'm going to switch back to more of what it says in a moment. I am just trying to find a shaft. And let's see, what wood do I want to use? Oh, I don't know. I believe it's oaken wood is the best. So let's just, this is only a guess, okay? Pure guess. I believe its main use is as a tool, but it's also a weapon. So your guess is as good as mine what wood to use. For now, I'm just going to say I'm going to use oaken wood just because it's a tool. But probably, you know what, it could be anywhere. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along, most of it. Right, okay, let's find then the Belaying Pin. Oh, I know that alarm's going to go soon. I just know it. So let's make this quick. Right, let's add that. And where's the Belaying Pin? There it is. Right, okay, Belaying Pin, let's create. Okay, there is our Belaying Pin. And yes, we can, just to show you. There we go, you see it puts it straight in the weapon slot. Now we can go and fight a chicken or something. Maybe the chicken will live quite a bit longer with fighting it instead of dying in one hit. I don't know, we'll see, won't we? Anyway, so there we go. That is the Belaying Pin. Now let's switch back to the club, the huge club, because I hadn't finished reading. Okay, so the weapon stats for the huge club. Attack speed. Do you know what? On Wurmpedia, it's a question mark. So please feel free to test out the huge shod club and let us all know what the attack speed is, if you can. That would be much appreciated, thank you. The damage type is mauling. Parry rate, again on Wurmpedia, it's unknown. So try using one and let us all know if it can parry. Wielding, it's a two-hander, so you can't use a shield with it. Here's the notes from Wurmpedia. Huge shod club weighs 15 kilograms, so it is slow and hard to use, but its mauling hits can be deadly. Yep, that's why the troll can one-hit kill you. It is 45 quality level unless you kill the Troll King, the Cyclops or Forest Giant uniques. They're unique monsters whose clubs are each 65 quality level. Well, there's a nice weapon to get hold of. Not possible to create, improve or repair. Made from birchwood, can be used as fuel. Decays relatively fast. Right, now before I forget, I asked you, didn't I, at the beginning of these weaponsmithing, or no, I can't say that because this isn't weaponsmithing, some of these weapons, but at the beginning of weapons, these episodes on weapons, I asked you a question, didn't I? I asked you how many different types of weapon there are, but I don't even want you to answer yet because I haven't even finished yet. So let's just remember that question as I continue. Okay, next. 2 weapons that you would not believe are weapons but are indeed weapons. Number 1 is the Sickle. Now, many years ago when I was playing Wurm Online, there used to be this thing where the pro fighters were always using sickles. Sadly, I cannot remember why. I don't know if it was because they had a really quick attack speed, the sickle, and so you got your skill up quickly. You know, on Wurm Online, anything that goes quick is definitely good. I don't know if it was for that reason. I just cannot remember. All I can remember is that the sickle was a well-touted weapon to use. Next weapon to mention is the scythe. Yes, the scythe that we use for our grains harvesting. That is a two-handed weapon, and it has a 4 or 5 second delay to it. Again, though, it is a weapon, and I think it's referred to as being like a two-handed sword, but I'll let you check that out. Right, okay, next, some more weapons, but I'm not going to go into them because these are in a future episode, and they are the steel spear and the steel staff. Now, I don't know, there might be more, but for now, I'm just going to mention that. For as to how many different weapon types there are, I don't know. There's quite a few, as you can see. Maybe again one of you can comment and enlighten me just to how many different weapon types there are in Wurm. But I think it's very nice that there are so many. Right, okay, now it's time to go and tell you this one thing before I finish this episode. I know I've made probably a complete mess on this episode, but you know what, this was a big can of worms. There were so many different areas I was going off into with all these different Wurmpedia things I wanted to read, and there's just so many different connections to different things that you can make and do. It's just it throws you all, pulls you all over the place. Like, look at me, I'm spinning all around the screen now. Okay, right, where am I going? That's the trouble with making slabs everywhere. You lose sight of the path that you're supposed to be on. Right, okay, so notice, oh wow, I've done about 80 odd fields of barley. I found something out new recently about barley. It is now my favourite grain. I know I said to you previously that oat was my favourite grain, but I found something out about the barley which I wasn't aware of, which they've obviously updated at some point. If I just harvest some, I'll show you what I'm talking about, and then you'll see why I've got 80 odd fields planted. Okay, the barley, if we take a quick look, you will notice now that it has a healing power of 2. Now, I remember looking at this a few years back, and there's definitely no way that was there. You know, it was always been used for making bread and etc, all of these, but I didn't ever see it used for that. We're going to be doing a healing cover after the fighting episode, so start planting that barley because it's going to be very useful as a number 2, because when we start making healing covers, our skills will be rubbish. It doesn't matter if they're low, but look, you can so easily make 1,000 of them. What else? Yeah, one other thing. There is no beer in the game at the moment, so sadly, barley is not going to be used for brewing. Okay? So just that to mention. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you, and take care of every last single one of you. Have a fantastic day, and thank you for joining me in another episode. Goodbye.